Hello everyone, welcome to Brilliant Bankers. In today's session, we'll be going through the AML KYC regulations. We have already completed a two video in the same topic, and this is the third part. And today we will be starting off with by RBI. The Reserve Bank of India has established comprehensive anti-money laundering guidelines for banks and the financial institutions in India. So going to a summary, we do have the KYC requirements like customer identification. Banks must verify the identity of their customers using documents such as the passports, driver's license, utility bills, the Aadhaar cards, the PAN card, and all these things. The KYC process includes verifying the customer's name, address, and the date of birth. By risk profiling them, what kind of risk they are in. There are the customers are categories based on their risk profiles like low, medium, and high, which is applicable as per their appropriate level of scrutiny. And also periodic updation of the same. Customers' information should be updated regularly also, at least once in every 2 years for low risk customers, high risk customers, and once in 8 years for medium risk, and once in 10 years for low risk customers. Regarding the customer due diligence procedures, there is also enhanced due diligence for high risk customers. Example is a politically exposed person. For all these persons, the KYC updation is to be done every 2 years. And banks must perform additional checks and obtain more information regarding them also. Ongoing monitoring. Banks must continuously monitor transactions to ensure that they are consistent with the customer's profile and their business activities also. Suspicious activity reporting or the SAR report, whatever is being said. The suspicious criteria is the banks are required to report suspicious transactions that might indicate money laundering or terrorist financing activities. Reporting mechanism says that the SARs, that is the suspicious activity reports, must be submitted to the Financial Intelligence Unit, IND, about which we will be learning in the coming slides, within a specified time frame. That is always report on the 15th of the, before the 15th of the next month. Internal compliances or the internal controls. AML compliance officer is to be there in a bank. Banks must appoint a dedicated AML compliance officer who is responsible for overseeing the AML program and ensuring the adherence to regulations. Training and awareness is also to be given to the staff, wherein the regular training programs must be conducted to keep them updated on the AML policies and the practices. Banks are also required to conduct regular internal audits of their AML controls and processes to ensure effectiveness. What are the RBI initiatives and the challenges they are facing? The initiatives are like the Financial Intelligence Unit India, which we'll be discussing in detail in the upcoming slide. Here, we will be going in a short form only. RBI collaborates with the FIA to streamline the reporting and analysis of the suspicious transactions. AML guideline updates are to be given. The RBI periodically updates its AML guidelines to align with international standards and emerging threats. For instance, it has cooperated recommendations from the FATF, that is the Financial Action Task Force, to strengthen the AML framework, and also the technology integration. The RBI has encouraged the adoption of advanced technologies like AI and machine learning for better transaction monitoring and fraud detection. And what are the challenges that RBI is facing? That is the adapting to emerging risks. As financial technologies evolve, such as digital currencies and online banking, RBI faces challenges in adapting to the AML guidelines to address these new risks, like compliance across the diverse institutions. Ensuring consistent compliance across various types of financial institutions, from large banks to the smaller cooperative banks, poses a significant challenge. And also there are resource constraints, like some institutions, particularly the smaller ones, struggle with the resources required to implement the robust AML systems and processes effectively. So these guidelines and initiatives are part of the RBI's broader efforts to prevent the financial crimes and ensure the integrity of the banking system in India. Regarding the RBI guidelines, what we are discussing now is the main point of AML, that is anti-money laundering. We will be having a separate session for KYC and we will be going detailing through the RBI circular only. And coming to the next slide, which is system adequacy. A robust money laundering system is crucial for the banks to effectively detect and prevent money laundering activities. It helps mitigate risks, safeguard the institution's reputation, and also comply with the regulatory requirements. So the most important or a strong AML system is achieved by key elements of a strong AML, like a risk-based approach, Assessment of risk. Banks assess the risks associated with the different customers, the products, and the transactions. This helps in prioritizing the resources and their attention to the high risk areas. There should be tailored controls, like implementing controls and monitoring mechanisms, which are based on the risk profiling of the customers that ensures resources are used efficiently and effectively. They should also have a strong governance, wherein a strong AML system requires active involvement from the board and the senior management to set the tone at the top and ensure the AML program is aligned with the bank's risk appetite. An AML compliance officer is responsible for overseeing the AML program, ensuring compliance with regulations, and also acting as a point of contact with the regulatory authority, that is the RBI. And by investment in technology or increasing the adequate resources, wherein bank need to invest in advanced technologies, that is from the starting level itself, or from the staffing level itself, like operations, including the compliance officers, analysts, and investigators. Regular training programs are to be conducted for employees to help them stay updated on the latest AML regulations, red flags, and the best practices. Training should include practical scenarios and simulations to enhance the employee's ability to identify and report the suspicious activities. There should be independent audits, like regular internal audits, assess the effectiveness of the AML program, ensuring compliance with internal regulations and policies. Periodic reviews by the external auditors or consultants provide an independent evaluation of the AML program and identify these areas for improvement. So, what are the common challenges that are being faced, and what are the best practices that can be brought around? The complexity in the regulatory environment, like navigating a complex and frequently changing regulatory landscape, can be very difficult. So, to stay updated with the regulatory changes through the professional network and regulatory updates, we have to implement flexible systems that can be adapted to the new requirements. And what are the constraints in this? Smaller banks may struggle with the limited resources for implementing all the comprehensive AML measures. And the best practice for this is to leverage technology to automate and streamline the AML processes, considering the outsourcing some AML functions to specialist services and service providers if it is feasible. We also have to integrate the technology. By integrating advanced technologies and ensuring that they are effectively used can be challenging also. We have to invest in a scalable and user-friendly AML technology solution to ensure the proper training for staff on the use of technology and also regularly reviewing their effectiveness. There is also a problem with the cultural and organization challenges also, where ensuring a culture of compliance and maintaining staff engagement in AML efforts can be difficult. But by fostering a culture of compliance through clear communication of AML policies and regular training and also incentivizing them for adherence, this engages the employees by making AML a shared responsibility across the organization. So how come, and what are the best practices for overcoming these challenges? Develop a comprehensive AML policy by ensuring that the AML policy is well documented, communicated to all staff, and also regularly being updated to reflect changes in regulations and risk profile. Promote a compliance culture by encouraging a culture of compliance by integrating AML responsibilities and through promoting transparency, and also by regularly reviewing and updating the procedures. By focusing on these key elements and addressing common challenges, banks can build a robust AML system that not only helps in detecting and preventing money laundering, but also protects their reputation and ensures the regulatory compliance. Coming to the next point, that is the anti-terrorism. Here in this slide, we will be discussing or exploring the link between the money laundering and the terrorism financing, emphasizing the importance of a holistic approach, wherein money laundering and terrorist financing are interconnected, and these issues that often overlap in various ways. We have to understand how money laundering enables terrorist organizations to fund their activities and conceal their operations. We also have to highlight the need for a coordinated approach to address both effectively. So, how money laundering supports the terrorist organizations? This is by the concealment of funds. That is, money laundering involves disguising the origin of the illicit funds, making it difficult to trace the source of the money. This process allows the terrorist organizations to use these funds without revealing their origin. By integration into the financial system, through various laundering techniques, illicit money is integrated into the legitimate financial system. This makes it even harder for authorities to distinguish between the legitimate money and the illegitimate money, or the legitimate transactions or the illicit transactions. Funding of the terrorist activities, When there is diversification of funding sources, these terrorist organizations often use laundered money to finance the operations, including the recruitment, training, and the purchasing of weapons. The use of laundered money helps avoid detection and scrutiny. Money laundered often involves international financial transactions. Terrorist groups exploit these networks to transfer funds across the borders, which can support operations in different regions also. And they also conceal the operation. Terrorist organizations may use front companies or shell companies to launder money and fund their activities. These entities appear legitimate but are used to move and disguise the funds, wherein these does not exist at all. What is the need for a coordinated approach? That is the international efforts that have to be taken for the coordinated approach. In the case of the international cooperation, for a coordinated approach, we develop comprehensive policies, that is, implement policies that address both the money laundering and terrorism financing, ensuring alignment with the international standards. We also promote collaboration between the financial institutions, law enforcement agencies, and regulatory bodies to enhance information sharing and joint efforts. And we also have to invest in technologies to use advanced technologies and data analytics to detect and prevent both money laundering and terrorism financing, wherein by providing training to staff at financial institutions and regulatory bodies to recognize and respond to signs of money laundering and terrorism financing. By addressing both money laundering and terrorism financing through a coordinated, integrated approach, authorities and financial institutions can more effectively combat these threats, protect the financial system, and contribute to the global security effectively, and have a full 100% efforts for stopping this anti-terrorism or money laundering through and for anti-terrorism. Now let's discuss about the FIU-IND, that is Financial Intelligence Unit, India. This plays a crucial role in the country's financial intelligence and AML framework. The main points are the collection and analysis of the financial intelligence. Wherein they receive reports, the FIU-IND receives suspicious activity reports and CTRs, that is a cash transaction reports, from banks and other financial institutions. This unit analyzes these reports to identify the patterns, trends, and anomalies that may indicate the money laundering or terrorist financing or any other financial crime. Based on its analysis, this FIU-IND disseminates the actionable intelligence to law enforcement agencies, normally the ED, and other relevant entities also. The unit provides crucial information that assists in investigation and prosecution of financial crimes. About coordination with and cooperation, wherein we collaborate with the domestic agencies. FIU-IND coordinates with the various domestic agencies such as the Enforcement Directorate, the Central Bureau of Investigation, the Directorate of Revenue Intelligence, that is the DRI, to facilitate investigations and enforcement actions. They also have international cooperation, wherein this unit works with international counterparts and participates in global initiatives to combat money laundering and terrorism financing. And what are their compliance and reporting oversight? The FIU-IND ensures that the financial institutions comply with the AML and safety regulations. This unit conducts inspections and audits of reporting entities to assess their adherence to the AML and CFT requirements. It also assists in development of the AML CFT policies and guidelines, ensuring they align with the international standards and best practices. It also provides recommendations for legislative and regulatory changes to enhance the effectiveness of the AML CTF framework. FIU-IND conducts training programs and workshops for financial institutions, law enforcement agencies, and other stakeholders to enhance their understanding of AML CTF procedures, that is counter-terrorism financing procedures, practices, and obligations. The unit works to raise awareness about the importance of AML measures and encourages best practices among reporting entities. This also conducts research on trends and developments in financial crimes and the AML practices. FIU-IND provides analysis and insights to support the policymaking and strategic planning in the field of financial crime prevention. The unit manages and maintains databases related to the financial transactions and suspicious activities of each and every customer. FIU-IND ensures the security and integrity of the financial intelligence data and systems. So through these responsibilities, FIU-IND plays a pivotal role in safeguarding the financial system in India, enhancing the country's ability to detect and combat the financial crimes effectively. Let's discuss about the FATF. What is FATF? It's a Financial Action Task Force. They have 40 recommendations which serve as a global standard for AML CTF measures. So we will not be going for the whole 40 points or 40 recommendations. We'll be discussing about that. The 40 recommendations are a comprehensive set of guidelines developed by FATF to help countries implement effective AML and CTF measures. They are designed to provide a consistent framework for combating financial crimes and ensuring the integrity of the global financial system. So here's an overview of the elements. Like the legal framework, recommendations call for the criminalization of money laundering and terrorism financing, ensuring that these activities are treated as serious offenses under the national laws. They also require the establishment of robust law enforcement powers and mechanisms for investigating and prosecuting the financial crimes. Due customer KYC updations or the customer due diligence is to be done when the financial institution must implement CDD measures to verify the identity of the customers and assess the risk associated with them. STRs, institutions are required to report regarding the suspicious transactions and activities to the relevant authorities. They also have a regulatory and supervisory measure wherein countries must ensure effective regulation and supervision of financial institutions and other entities which are susceptible to money laundering and the terrorism financing. Coming to the international cooperation, mutual legal assistance is to be provided between each countries, wherein the recommendations emphasize the need for countries to provide mutual legal assistance and cooperate with the international partners in investigation and prosecuting of financial crimes. Information sharing is also be done. Like countries have to share their financial intelligence and cooperate with the international organizations to combat cross-border financial crimes. Well, what does the government and implementation do? Countries are encouraged to develop comprehensive national AML CTF strategies and policies involving all relevant stakeholders, and it is to be implemented in a proper manner. Mutual evaluation program. What is MEP? FATF's MEP, that is a mutual evaluation program, assesses the country's compliance with the 40 recommendations that they have given and identifies areas for improvement wherein the country can do. The MEP is a key component of the FATF's effort to ensure the effective implementation of global AML CFT standards. And this is how it works. They have an evaluation framework. The MEP assesses the country's AML safety framework based on the FATF's recommendations and the country's effectiveness in implementing all these measures. The evaluation includes a detailed review of the country's legal, regulatory, and institutional frameworks, as well as its practices or practical implementation and the effectiveness it has done. It also reports on the country. Like following the evaluation, a detailed report is published outlining the country's compliance with the 40 recommendations, which includes the strengthening of the AML KYC guidelines and also their weaknesses, the weaknesses of the countries. The reports include an action plan with recommendations for improving the AML CTF framework, addressing the identified gaps and weaknesses that are available in the country's evaluation. It's also being followed up and reassessed. Like countries are subject to follow-up reviews to assess programs or assess their progress in implementing these following recommendations. The FATF periodically re-evaluates countries to ensure continued compliance and effectiveness in their AML CTF efforts. It also promotes international cooperation and consistency. The FATF promotes international cooperation and consistency in the AML CTF regulations through several mechanisms, like giving them the global standards. They also have international collaboration for information sharing and technical assistance. They also have the peer reviews, like the mutual evaluation. The MEP process involves peer reviews by FATF member countries, promoting accountability and transparency in the assessment of AML CFT guidelines. The global engagement is done by engaging with non-member countries and international organizations to foster the global cooperation and address the emerging challenges in financial crime. They have also given some guidance and recommendations, like FATF issues as guidances and recommendations to help countries implement the best practices in AML CTF measures. It also updates and revises the recommendations and its methodology to address new threats and challenges in the financial sector. So by establishing the global standards and conducting rigorous evaluations and promoting international collaboration, the FATF helps ensure that countries work together effectively to combat money laundering and terrorism financing, thereby safeguarding the global financial system. With this, we come to the end of this session. We'll be starting off in the next session in a few days. If you have any questions, please do comment, and we are ready to reply for your questions, and we are ready to clarify your doubts on the topic. This is Nishant signing off. Have a great day. Jai Hind.